Hi guys, welcome to Van Life with Minister Mary. Aloha keakua. You don't see me because I'm laying down in my bed. I'm in the van. So as you can see, I do have a heater on down there. That's what that little red light is. It's connected to, which you probably can't tell too well, the Jackery 1000. We'll see how long that'll run. That is my table over there with the battery operated candles. That's where I get ready in the morning for my makeup. Pictures up there, of course, of family. And the beautiful thing in the middle has got all the words in both Hebrew as well as in English, God's names, right? And then if we go over this direction, of course my boys' pictures have got to be up there, you know. That's where I go in and out. You see that big black thing? Now those little dots, that's from a light that I have over here. I'm just kind of panning around. My kitchen area is over this side, but you don't see it too well because it's dark. But I do have another Jackery, if I can get a better shot of it, over here. And that's what's running my heating pad for my legs. And underneath is my Bouge RV refrigerator. There you go. I have lights on periodically. I also have one that, like, when you move around, it goes on. And then we're coming around this way. Da-da-da-da-da. Back around again. Just so you can kind of see the setup. I like the way these lights worked out. They're subtle. And I'm not totally in the dark, so if I have to get up and go potty or anything, my potty is just fine. I went ahead and did that last night. There's my, here I am, my legs are there. And my baskets I hung up down there. I think I showed you that once before. And then, of course, you know, the back doors are back there. And Miss Lola's in the bed here. She kind of buried under the blankets, too. It's about 47 right now. And, which is fine. It's not too bad. I don't know what we're going to be like when it's in the 30s, but, or the 20s. We'll figure that out when the time comes. But I have the Jackery 300 that's charging my Apple Watch and my phone here that I'm holding. I have the Jackery 500, which runs my heating pad, which is in my bed where my feet are, like the part I was wiggling down there. And the Jackery 1000 is running that heater over there. Now, that's the only thing. I don't know how long that's going to go. That is a 200 watt. I cannot find a heater that is going to work other than that one. And it doesn't supply a lot of heat, but it does take the chill off. I will say that. Now, what it does in real bitter cold, I don't know. I have another heater, but it is a 450 watt. So I wish I had either another Jackery 1000 or I would have to have maybe the 2000 or something like that. Because 450 watts is kind of a lot. Now, I do have an electric blanket that I used last time when we were in a 38 degree temperature. And that was, I believe, the 20 watt or 12 watts. I think it was one you get at Walmart that doesn't have too much wattage, but I ordered it off of Amazon because, you know, it was just easier. But so I still have that, and that blanket, as a matter of fact, is in my house right now, my stick and brick right now, because I am packing my stick and brick. I need to be out of there by next week Wednesday. So I have closets all done. I have 2 bathrooms almost all done. Master bedrooms done. Like I said, all the closets. So then I have 2 more rooms after that, plus the laundry room. The laundry room just kind of has supplies in it, you know, paint and the paint that was anything for the house, I'm going to leave, of course. I'm just going to put that out in the cabinet, just like the people did for me. My one shed is totally done. My other shed is about halfway done because as I need things, I just go get it, you know, whether it be a box or whatever. So there's not much left in there. That'll be done within about a day. And then the other shed is just the one that was my exercise room. So that's going to all have to get cleaned out. So, but again, it's like 4 things in there. So it's not like I'm going to be, hey, I got to do this forever. You know, the bigger stuff is easy. It's that little stuff that'll kill you. Like when you start finding your lipstick or your cologne or your perfume or your, you know what I mean? You got, oh, and here's another barrette. And oh, here's a belt. Or that's what's, ay, ay, ay. My storage, I'm putting things in my storage temporarily because I don't want to keep a storage forever, you guys, but I've got some of my canned food in there because I'm not going to eat everything up before the 15th, which is, you know, like what, 10 days away? So in 10 days, I'm not going to eat everything, so I'm going to keep some of that in there. And then I can go visit it periodically to go get food out of there. Same thing with the clothes, because I'm not going to have all my clothes in here. Because, see, I still work. If I didn't work, I don't think it would be so bad, because it would be sweatpants, jeans, you know, and some sweatshirts and, you know, t-shirts and things like that. Nice ones, of course. I mean, but still, it's just, it's a lot. So, but in the meantime, I think we're doing all right. I mean, my little buddy here, she's sound asleep, and I am sleepy. It's after midnight. And I'm going to be getting up tomorrow and donating a bunch of stuff. So I got to take about 6 bags down there. I took 4 today. I wanted to see if I can get about 6 out. I did find a place that will store my teardrop trailer. It's outside, which I wish it weren't. But I'm going to have to put the cover on it. Wish me luck on that, because I've never done that before. That'll have to be done. I have some people here from my complex, they offered to help me get it over there. I don't have a tow package on this van. I really don't know if I want one. If I did, it would be more just to put that basket on the back, you know, and just like for extra, you know, that silver box on there that locks. But then again, do I really need it, you know? So I don't know if that I'm going to need it. You know, you don't want to carry, you don't want to overpack and, you know, go bonkers. I do have some clothes in here. I wish I had just a little bit more, like in my dress blouses and stuff, so I wouldn't have to go to storage. Or I'll bring a couple dress sweaters in here. But it's not bad. I mean, I can make do with what I have for now. And my storage will have to be like a changing room. I guess I'll have to go in there and get a couple outfits out, and, you know, for about 2-3 days, and then, because there's enough room in here, I could actually do that. So I may end up doing that. But that table there, getting ready in the morning, is not too bad. It really isn't. So I've not eaten in here in the morning yet, although I do have a skillet that I can make my eggs on. And when we get to that, you know, daily life stuff, I'll start filming that so you can actually see what it's like, you know, to be, sheesh, I'm almost 66. So to be 66 and be in a van, and this is how we're going to survive. I want to do this for about 3 years and see what I can save up in those 3 years. And then perhaps get like one of these cabin in the wood type deals, you know. So far I'm only finding them in parts of Washington State that are like in the mountains. I'm not trying to go in the mountains, but it would be all right. I mean, as long as I'm not far from a little city or something that I could go get groceries or go to a Walmart or go to, you know, something like that, be all right. So I don't know. That remains to be seen. I know in Tennessee there is a tiny home village, and I've been noticing that. Now, I don't want to be that far away from my family, but I'm just saying, I don't know that there's anyone like that out here. It's kind of a new thing, I guess. But we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I think this lighting is beautiful. I've got that heater taking the edge off of the cold. The little heating pad, which not so little, I've got a bigger one, but it's like, you know, by my feet and my legs. That's helping a lot, because I get those severe cramps. I don't know if y'all know about that, but if you don't, pray you never do. It's those kind that you end up screaming. and crying, just wishing for it to stop. I do drink pickle juice, and that does help immensely. So I didn't have any last night, and fortunately I didn't have any cramps. But the night before, he was really bad. And about 2 nights prior to that I couldn't move my leg. So you don't want that. So say a prayer for me that my legs start to kind of calm down. It's just because I'm on my feet all day now. I know we were, yesterday, loading the van, and because I had to get an empty U-Haul van and take stuff over, and it just was a lot. It's just a lot. But it's getting done, and I'm going to go with, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He has to strengthen me right now, because honestly, I could not do this without his help. Because I don't have any human help right now, so. Anyway, I did have one friend on Thursday with her minivan that was immensely helpful. So helpful to be able to, get a nice load and get it started over there in the storage unit. And then that was Thursday. And then Sunday, go ahead and, which was yesterday, as a matter of fact, and go and get the empty van. And then my daughter-in-law came with the kids. So, little bit, she fell asleep. I just call her little bit. She's 6. She fell asleep. And my grandson, who is now 11, unfortunately, U-Haul vans aren't as tall as mid-roof vans. And he's tall. And he bonked his head on where you go in and out, in the back. So walked right into the frame, So he's got a slight concussion. So if y'all keep him in prayer, please. I'm sure he'll be fine. But it's scary when that happens. And then you feel weird and telling you. But anyway, he's okay from what I understand. But always keep your grandkids in prayer if you have them. Whether they talk to you or not. Keep your children in prayer whether they talk to you or not. I mean, my boys are older now, and the one is, I'm so proud of Isaiah. He's doing his firefighting EMT stuff, so say a prayer for him that God protect him and help him get through. He's in the academy for that. Seems to be doing well. And then my other one, Richard in California there, I don't hear much from him. I know he's working as much as possible, and he's getting his investments together, and, he's smart with all that kind of stuff, so he's working on all that. And he doesn't want to come out here to Washington State. He prefers California, but we sure do miss him. I mean, the family does, so. And we don't get to talk to him much. But whether you talk to your kids or not, or whether they call you or not or they don't, keep them in prayer, because no matter what, you guys, the Lord is going to watch over them. But you want to be praying for their safety and their health, and, go ahead and talk to the Lord about it. He knows best. So that's the only advice I want to give you there on that one. But I understand it's hard, especially if you're a parent and your kids are grown and they don't want to talk to you very much. I know Minnie Van Lee, she wrote a book about that. About how, sometimes kids blame their parents for everything. Especially us moms. I don't know why we get hit the hardest, but we do. I guess because we raise them, a little bit more because we're around and maybe daddy's off working. So, that does happen. That rope, by the way, that you see there, that bungee cord, whatever you call it, that cord there, I keep it there. Oh, excuse me, it's late, I'm telling you. I keep it there, and I've got another one more on the end there, so that when I travel, none of that stuff falls over. I don't think it would, but after having that one thing that I put in here topple over, it's made me pretty paranoid. So I keep those ropes on there. Now, like, I'm in my carport right now, so I'm comfortable leaving them there. You know, it's not going to be like, oh, it's, you know, it's not so pretty, so I won't leave it there, you know. But for now, and it doesn't get in my way. And then when I want to get up in the morning and get ready to go, you know, walk the dog, feed the dog, take care of myself, and then we want to go make our donations, there's no point in taking it off and putting it back on. I'm just going to leave it there, so that way I can, you know, keep it there and don't have to worry. I do have my windows in the front all covered, my Reflectix in the front window, and the new covers that I had showed you in the last video there on the side windows. So I did not drop my curtains over them. I did last night. So I don't know if it made a big difference in the heat, or, you know, keeping the heat in and the cold out. I really think that I'm going to have to, oh, that's what I want to tell you. You know, on this wall up here in front of me, where those see those holes up there? That's just kind of how the vans are, right? So like that hole that's right in front of us here, like as you look down there, I did not put insulation in there. Like I didn't drop the insulation there because I didn't know how far down it was going to go. It just seemed like it was a hollow thing. But I think tomorrow when I get a minute, whatever that's going to be, I'm going to start pulling some of that insulation and just sticking it in there and see what that does, and then close those holes up there, because I'm wondering if that's also, you know, not helping me too much here with that, because there's a wall there, I mean, obviously, but there's that empty space between, right? So it would make sense to fill that in. So I think I'm going to be putting some more insulation in there. I didn't do it in there. I've done it everywhere else. And, you know, you saw that when I was showing my insulation, but it's not real heavy insulation. You know, like some people put more in. I didn't, because there's that kind of debate. Insulate, don't insulate, you know, and some people say, well, this is the best way, this is the only way, blah, 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 blah. I insulated the way I wanted to insulate, and you're going to have to make up your mind how you want to do that. And if you're a snowbird and you're going to go into a warmer climate, you may not have to worry too much about the insulation. If you are in a colder area like I'm going to be, you may want to put a little more. By the way, my ceiling is holding really well. You know, see that little bit where it's kind of peeling off? This is that sticky wallpaper that I was showing you, right? And it has the stars, if you can kind of tell. You probably can see it where the light's shining better. But you know what? It's supposed to stick to itself. It doesn't. So, and they said if it doesn't, so they must know they've had trouble with it before. If it doesn't, then use the glue. Well, so I take my spray glue and I'll, you know, put it up under there when I see a spot like that, and then I'll push it down and it holds it and it stays. So I will go ahead and touch up. I mean, you're always going to have to touch up a little something until you get used to everything. But I mean, for the most part, it's staying on there. I'm not going to complain. So, and I'm not having an immense amount of that coming off, so that's good. So I hope you're all enjoying the supermoon, by the way. We have a supermoon tonight, if you don't know. And I did get to see it. I didn't get to see it like when it looked really close to the earth, because if I would have been at work and been driving home, I bet I would have, because they've got such beautiful views coming home. I go, we're in a higher elevation, and I go and see a valley under, oh my God, that's so gorgeous. You go up and down this hill, and you see the valley down below, and the sunsets are gorgeous, and a lot of times you see the moon when there's stuff like that going on, but not tonight. I didn't work, so I stayed home working on my house, backing it up. But I'm going to start to donate more, because I'm realizing, you know, guys, don't hold on to everything. Don't ask me why I did. I think it's a sentimental thing. And we start to say, oh, when I did this, oh, look, I have that from I gotta stop that. So, and the same thing with the clothes. Oh, but that was so pretty when I wore that to blah, blah, blah. you know what, I'm going to stop with the blah, blah, blah business and go to my storage. And about every 3 months, I think, would be a good idea. And just go over there. Okay, you haven't worn that, 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 and that. Did you miss it? Nah. Well, let's just give it away. You know, so I can start to whittle down the storage. And once I whittle that down and get that half empty, now I can, you know, then I'll start to see some progress. But, you know, you always think you're going to need that in the future. And you know darn well you're not going to use it anyway. So, and, you know, I'm just going to start doing that. But I'm sure glad I had those cubbies. Those are all those cubbies, by the way. You know, my little dressing table. That's those cubbies. And I don't know if you can tell, those little squares are in there. The 3 drawers right next to it. And on top of it, a couple plastic boxes that have clothes in it. But yeah, those cubbies came in handy, and that's what the bed is made out of. I've got the same 8 thing, you know, the 8 thing with the 8 little squares on each side. And that's what, 4 feet? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 feet. So what did I do for the additional foot? Well, I was able to put the headboard on the bed. So that's back there behind me, which I know you can't see. And then down there, because I would have been about maybe a foot and a half short, the mattress is there, and underneath it, I have suitcases, which I'm not, where am I going? I'm not using them right away, right? So I put them under there, and that holds that up. I do have the slats from the bed, you know, the boards that it came with, you know, going across, so. And they're also reinforced with boards underneath them, you know, like a pole holding each one up, so it's not going to fall down. It's pretty sturdy, so I'm happy with it. And I mean, I'm little, so I'm not that big, so it's not going to break anything. So I'm happy with everything, and I'm tired. But I did want you to at least see what's going on and how it looks in here at night. And like I said, I'm happy with that lighting. And I'm so happy that I can have the heating pad on. It helps my legs so much and gets me toasty warm. Now that heater's still going. I don't know what condition my Jackery's going to be in a few hours, or if the heater will eventually shut off. Because it's only 1,000 watt, you know, that Jackery. And if that's a 200 watt, I don't know. We're going to see. We'll just see what happens. Like I said, it does take the chill off. It's not going to make it toasty warm, but it will take the chill off. So, it's better than not having anything, tell you that. But in the future, I want to get another 1,000 Jackery and even another 500, because when you've got one plugged in and charging, you can be using the other one. You know, kind of switch them around. And I'll kind of keep it in my garage area in the back, and then when I need it, just switch them. So, that's the plan for the future. Now, I do know somebody that knows how to put the solar on the roof and do the whole inverter and the yada yada stuff. I'm not that clever with all that stuff, so I would definitely need help on that. But when we get to that point, we'll get to that point. In the meantime, I'm not having a lot of condensation in here by the way I'm heating it. And I seem to be doing all right. So far, so good. You know, we're going to see how it goes. Hopefully, you know, things will be okay. But here we are. And that's what, I'm just going to show you that light, those lights there, because I think it looks kind of pretty. So, I'm just going to leave it like that. So you have something nice to look at. And the green lights or blue lights that you see, that's from the Jackery. The red ones from the heater. And the button on the heater is red. That's why you see 2 red lights. So, or what looks to be 2 red lights. And like I said, the rest of my lighting is fine. So, and pictures of my family surrounding me, and I'm content. A little nervous about when I'm not going to be in my carport anymore. I probably will stay more in my family's neighborhood in Bonnie Lake to start out because I'll feel more secure. That's one of the towns around. And another town around would be Enumclaw. These are various towns in the western half of Washington. Enumclaw, I know exactly where to go. I'm not going to tell y'all where I'm going to be exactly in there. But the problem is the bridge is out to get to there. And they're still fixing the bridge, so it's an hour now to get down there. I mean, it always was long, but you really got to go through hoops to get there now. And that's not so good. So I'm going to have to get more creative and figure things out. And there's even an Eagles, I'm thinking there's an Eagles club. And they have an area you can rent, and stay there for the night or two. So, I mean, I have places I can go. But I'm trying to find the freebies first. So, because the closing date is the 15th. So, and I have bills I got to pay off. So, I'm not going to be extremely wealthy. But I will have a way to pay bills off. Let's put it that way. So I want to want to get busy on that, and with whatever bigger cash flow I have, continue to pay off bills and become debt-free again, like I was at one time, and then we'll be good. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm sleepy, and I'm happy I could at least show you what it looks like in here at night. And like I said, I'm content, and I wish it were as warm as a house would be, but we're not in an actual real house, right? So, but it's not bad in here. Might be about like 47, 45. I want to get a thermometer and then I can tell you guys. But I mean, it's not like freezing. At least not yet. We're in Washington State. Who knows? The bad weather hasn't quite set in yet. It's supposed to, I believe, later this month and the beginning of November, so it may be quite interesting this winter. So, say a prayer for me. So that's why I always tell you guys, look, keep Jesus front and center. Pray for one another, help one another. If you see a need, please fill it. Because sometimes people are going through things you don't even know about, and they need some help. But they're maybe too shy to ask or feel like they're troublesome if they ask. So if you see that need, offer to fill it. And sometimes the people say, oh no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it anyway, because it's the right thing to do. And that's what Jesus would do anyway. He didn't say, oh, okay, and just walk away. So we know enough stories of him helping how many people, so please continue to help one another and love one another as the Lord has loved you. Especially nowadays, it's just so wonky out here, so it's wonky everywhere. That's my new word, wonky. I like that word. Anyway, it's wonky everywhere. So go ahead and help one another, love one another. And like I said, if you see a need, fill it. There was a lady talking to me today. She's working at Walmart, and she was saying how it's just so difficult. We're talking about, what I'm going to be doing in the future, and she said, I wish I could do more. She said, I'm just stuck here as a single mom. She said, I'm doing the best I can. And she's a cashier at Walmart, so now that's somebody I maybe don't know yet how to help her monetarily or give her anything for her children, but I do know I can pray for her. But she is on my mind. So I will not forget. There's a young man that's always outside of Safeway with a sign, anything will help. Walked over there the other day. He already had groceries. I said, is there anything you need? He said, no. I still gave him a little bit of money, and I just said, would you mind if I pray for you? And he said, no. I mean, a lot of people will just accept prayer and nothing else. If they don't want it, don't force it. But I mean, if they say yes, they will, go ahead. And that's something you can do too. When they're not around, They don't have to be present for you to pray. Not like the Lord doesn't know where they are. So go ahead, keep all that in mind, and that's a good way to help one another. And like I said, a smile, saying hi to somebody doesn't cost anything. You might make somebody's day a little brighter. All right, so that's enough for me telling you all about that. But get in the Bible, start reading some stories about Jesus. You got that, you can do. And then accept him into your life and into your heart. He died on that cross. He rose from the dead. And he did all that for you. He didn't have to. Like I always say, he could have stayed up in heaven where it was nice and bougie. He didn't have to come down here. Well, we have cold and rain and heat and bugs and all that wonderful stuff we have. So he didn't have to come here and suffer and put up with anything. But he did. And he would have done it if you were the only person on the whole face of this earth. He loves you that much. So, get to know him. He'll help you immensely. I wouldn't be this far if it wouldn't be for him. I wouldn't even be alive. So I'm grateful. Very grateful. And I'm grateful for all of you. So aloha nui loa. Love you much. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much for listening. And aloha ke akua. God is love, and he does love you. So like I said, love one another as he has loved you. You may see me in the next video, or you may just see more of what's going on in here. We'll see what that brings in the future. But you will definitely be updated. I'll make another video as soon as I can. Right now with the packing and moving stuff, it's been a little bit difficult. So bear with me for a little while. And keep me in your prayers, please. And I only wish the best for all of you. And pray that the Lord watch over you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. All right. It's time to go. I gotta go sleep because I have to get up early and go make donations, which I'm happy to do. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Or my van will see you in the next video. One or the other. But we'll be back. All right. See you later. Y'all take care now. Aloha.